Hi, everyone, and welcome to another English for Travelers lesson here at Study English with Us. Today, we're going to talk about how to check in online. Have you ever been given this option? When you're about to go to the airport, you get an email that says, you can check in online. Would you like to check in online? How do we go about checking in online? Let's find out in today's lesson right now. If you happen to find this lesson because you've been wondering about how to check in online and you are someone who's learning English, I want to welcome you and invite you to subscribe to our channel. We have lots of lessons here, not only about how to travel and learn English for travelers, but also many other aspects of learning English. And I think that you'll enjoy it. So after this video, go ahead and check the little button down below and subscribe to our channel. We welcome you. In our last lesson, we talked a little bit about how things are changing at the airport. Computers are becoming more and more in use in the check-in process, and we even noticed some photographs of some check-in machines right there at the airport. But there's something else that you should know about, and that is the option that most airlines give you today to check in online. Do you want to beat the lineups that are at the airport in the check-in counter? Well, you can get your boarding pass now online. Some of this has come about as a result of COVID and the airlines, the airports trying to avoid the contact of people. And so they've come up with ways to minimize how much we have to talk to other people. And one way is to check in online. And when you're about to fly, usually 24 hours before you fly, your airline will probably send you an email that says check in online. And it'll probably give you a link that you can click on your phone or click on your computer to be able to check in online. Now, what does this do for you? Check in online. Basically, it gives you your boarding pass so that you don't have to go to the counter to get your boarding pass anymore. You can just do it all online. And so if that is of interest to you, the next time you're ready to take a flight, watch for that email. Now, not every airline is doing this, but most airlines today are doing this option to check in online. So all you have to do is go to the website that the email gives you and read all of the pages and enter the information and click the right buttons, and you will get a boarding pass. There's two ways that you can work with this boarding pass. You can download the boarding pass and print it out on your printer so that you have a printed copy of your boarding pass. Or you can just have them email the boarding pass to you and you'll have it on your phone. And either way works. Everybody's going paperless, right? Paperless. Have you heard this? We're trying to avoid printing out a lot of paper. Save the trees, right? And so you can get the boarding pass sent to your phone. And usually it'll have a QR code. You've probably seen these QR codes. They'll send that to you, and now you just need to show that when you go to board the plane. And you can just show them your phone. You don't have to show them a piece of paper. They'll still want to see your passport to make sure that you are the person that the QR code says you are. So they'll compare that. But that's all you really need to do today is to show the screen that shows your boarding pass. Now, while you're doing this, I would also recommend that you download your proof of vaccination documents. This is something that you will probably have to show on your trip many times, and it makes it very convenient just to have it right on your phone. And your health department should make this available as something that you can save to your phone. Even if your country no longer requires you to show this at the airport, it could very well be that other countries that you visit will be asking for it, not only at the airport, but other places as well. So it's a good idea. It's very convenient to have this on your phone. So, what does this mean? Well, when you get to the airport, you can just go right past the check in counter. You go through security and go straight to your gate. And when it comes time to board the plane, all you have to do is show the boarding pass that's right on your phone. Usually there's another scanner there, a computer there to scan your QR code. And so you just put your phone on top of the screen there, usually a piece of glass, and it'll scan your code. And that will alert the attendant to who you are, and that she'll make sure that you're on the right flight and that you're the right person. She'll maybe compare it, probably will, with your passport. But all you really need, you don't need any paperwork, just need your phone these days. Now, I might mention that I still go ahead and print out a hard copy on a piece of paper as well. There's a couple reasons for that. What if something happens to your phone? You lose it somewhere in the airport, or the battery dies. Maybe you forgot to charge it the night before. All of a sudden, you don't have a boarding pass. And so I like to have that printout in my backpack just in case we need it. Now, what happens if you have some luggage that you need to check in? Well, most airports today will have these machines that you can go to get your luggage tags. So what you do is you go to one of these little machines, and the first thing that you'll need to do is show some type of identification so that the computer can match you up with the reservation that you have for your flight that day. So you can have the computer scan your passport or your driver's license, some type of identification, and then it'll connect the information on your passport with your ticket, and it'll come to the screen and let you confirm by pressing the screen usually that the computer has found you, that they found the right ticket. And it might confirm this a couple of times. It might ask you some questions about what's inside your luggage. Are you checking anything that's dangerous? And by the way, we might point out here, I don't know if I did it in the last lesson, there's lots of things that the airlines do not want you to put in your checked luggage. Anything flammable, for example, you have to be careful about what kind of liquids you're bringing on in your checked luggage. Even the batteries, anything that has a battery these days, they don't like you to put that in the check-on because some of these cheap batteries that you might order can explode or catch fire. And they don't want something starting a fire down below in the airplane where all the luggage is kept, because there's no one down there to be watching the luggage. And so if all of a sudden a battery explodes in your suitcase and starts a fire, well, it could bring your whole plane down just because you checked maybe a camera battery or one of these power supply units that you might get. Some of them, they sell for quite cheap, to charge your phone. But because they are very cheap, they're not made with the best quality materials. And so that can happen. And so the airline or the airport always wants you to carry those kinds of things on your carry-on luggage in your backpack. Okay, so you're at the machine. You're answering all of the questions about what's in your luggage. You're telling the computer how many bags you're checking. And if the computer sees that you're checking more bags than what your ticket allows for, then the computer is going to ask you for a credit card to pay for the extra suitcase. So you've checked all of the screen, the buttons, and then the next thing it'll say print out your luggage tag. You press the button on the screen and out comes your luggage tags, and it has some instructions usually right on the tag of how to attach it to your bag and where to attach it on your bag. But if you have trouble and you're confused about how to attach that tag, there's usually someone standing by from the airline to help you put your luggage tags on in the proper way. So if you have any questions about this whole process, there's usually someone there that can help you. And if you need help with your luggage tags, they're there to help you too. After that, what's the next step? Well, you have to take your luggage and put them on the belt. And usually, as you put them on that belt, there'll be a place there where the computer will weigh your luggage to make sure that your bags are not overweight. So, a good tip is when you're packing your bags, check your ticket to see how much you are allowed for every bag. Is it 20 kilos? Is it 25 kilos? Whatever it says there, be sure that you try and weigh it at home so that you know before you go to the airport that there's not going to be any issues when it comes time to put your bag on the belt. Now, there is something else that we should mention that you can do right here at these machines in the airport. If you did not check in online, you can also get your boarding passes right at this machine. Not only your luggage tags, but also your boarding passes. And it will probably give you that option as you're going through the different screens. Do you want a boarding pass? And if so, just click on that and then press print, and the machine will print out your boarding pass. But once you see that bag disappear down the belt, then you can go to security. Remember, we said in our last lesson, look for that big sign that says departures. That's where you want to go. And just follow the signs for departures. It'll take you to the security area. And in our next video, we'll talk about how to get through security and the English terms that you should know to get through security. So be sure and come back for that lesson. We'll try and get it out as soon as we can. And so we'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this lesson, please give it a like and a share with your friends. And if you haven't yet done so, I invite you to subscribe for more lessons like this, English for Travelers. We'll see you next time. So long for now.